Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to SOP Motorsport's Race Room Racing League. It is the Monday night, it's our inaugural league on Race Room. It is the WTCRs. It is round number 5, and we are off to the land where the rain falls mainly on the plain. It is Spain. It's a brand new track, especially for some of our ACC drivers. It is Motorland Aragon. The drivers are qualifying at the minute. They've got 6 minutes left. It's a solo qualifying session, so let's catch up on the league, shall we? Indeed, it has been a one-man show. That one man, Luciano Whitford, in the Cupra, has taken 8 wins from 8 races. Of course, we have 2 races each week. Is this off base? Looking for a league to join on ACC? Yeah, what to do is Falsify TV. Type exclamation mark Discord into the chat. We do ACC as well on a Wednesday and a Sunday. There we go. Sorry, look, stay back to the league. Easily distracted. But yeah, Luciano Whitford, he's not been distracted from his charge to take the top spot in SOP's inaugural championship. The Ballas Esport driver, 8 wins from 8 races. That includes all the reverse order grid races that come second. So yeah, every second race is a reverse order grid from race number 1. The drivers do their quali session, do race 1, and then reverse order. Closely followed in the championship, or as close as anyone can be, 90 points back almost. Lloyd Bedulf, he's taken many podium honours in this season. Hasn't taken a top spot yet, but does lead the charge. He's 89 points back, but only 5 points ahead of Matteo Catalan. Certainly not to be overlooked here for second spot, potentially. Ian Egan as well, doing a lot in the esports racing at the moment. He's missed a couple of races, but it does say he's taken part in 8 there. He's on 207 points with Lee Horn and Fabio Pereira not far behind there. Whippy Whip, Lee Taylor, 147 points in 7th with Sam Shelton. Marcus Jusma, unable to race this evening, in 9th place. He's 26 points ahead of Fraser Rostance. Can Fraser overturn that this evening? Some unfortunate connection errors. Some of our drivers missed the start of the race last week, so Cody Cosford missing out on some points towards the end of Interlagos last time out. Simon Baggas, Mr. SOP himself, not had much practice this evening for this evening's race, but sits in 13th position with 66 points. There is 4 minutes left of the qualifying session, so let us jump over and have a look and see how things are going. And no surprise, it is Whitford who is at the top of the table. Let me just... There we go. Yeah, Luciano Whitford finds himself just over half a tenth ahead of Catalan. So phenomenally close. 2.5 seconds back is Lloyd Bedulf then. Second in the championship, third in qualifying at the moment with 3 minutes left to go. Lee Horner in 4th. Then it is the charge of the Hyundais with Gil Rostance and Shelton, 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment. Then we've got another couple of Cupras, Kowalski and Withers, with Camano new to the league in the Honda. We've got Stinger, Cosford in 12th, and Gallagher in 13th position. We're on board at the moment with Luciano, sorry. our championship leader. Just trying to get a bearing. Very new course to myself as well, not going to lie. But yeah, and also a very new course all around 2009. This one built, of course, home to motorcycle. It was originally planned to be a GP, Formula One GP track, which has evolved from a street circuit. So yeah, 2009, of course, racing in the area dates back to 1965. There was a 6-year gap in 2003 when the Alcanaz street circuit was closed down. And then Motorland Aragon was born into existence. 3.3 miles long. So an extremely long track indeed, as you can see. 2 minute 13's the lap time, which does show you that there are some very fast straights, but as you can see, some very tight chicanes as well as you come down the hill through turns 8 and 9. The long left-hander, and then again, the start-finish straight and down the back straight, it's got a bit of a kink to it. You can really pick up some speed along there, hence the 3-mile or 5.3 kilometre lap being covered in less time than you can get a GT3 around Spa. There is Whitfit back into the pits. We've still got Lee Horn out on track. He's currently in 4th position. A gaggle of four, Cupras up at the top of the field. Gill and Rostance still leading the charge for the other manufacturers, with Shelton in there as well. There's Paul Stinger still out on track. 48 seconds left to qualifying then as we were doing that lap. As you can see, a very long lap indeed for the drivers. Now here comes Lovas across the line. Sets a time. It is Sullivan. Oh, sorry, that's Sullivan that set the time then. Ben Sullivan, there we go. He set a time of 13th. No time from Bagas. Lovax as well, unable to set a time out of the 16 drivers. So only 14 drivers setting a lap time in the 8-minute qualifying session. The reverse order grid is certainly going to be interesting. Oh, we've got another time. Craig Gallagher manages to sneak one in there in the Lincoln Co. right at the death. He's 12 seconds off the pace, but he has set a time, so he will start ahead of Lovax and Bagas. But it is the Luciano Whitfit show once again. 2-minute 13.599. 0.058 seconds ahead of Matteo Catalan. Fairly incredible, the distance there. Just over half a tenth of a second. Also in the 213s was Lloyd Badul. So he'll start on the second row alongside Lee Horn. Then it'll be Fabio Gill and Fraser Rostan side by side. They'll start 5th and 6th. Then on row number 4, it'll be Sam Shelton and Kowalewski. Row number 5, Matteo Giali and Andy Withers, then it is JC Camano starting in 11th side by side with Paul Stinger, Mr. Wasp himself. Cody Cosford and Ben Sullivan are going to start side by side on row number 7. It's going to be Craig Gallagher and Lovax starting on row number 8. And Simon Bagas will be starting in 17th position. So that is the runners and riders. That's how they will start this evening. As I said, we've had pretty much Luciano Whitfit run away with the championship at the moment, and it doesn't look like he's letting up this evening with yet another pole position in qualifying. So there we go. Just a couple of updates to the to some of the software that we're using this evening to bring you tonight's broadcast. So just making sure Everything's running there. Hope everyone is having themselves a good Monday evening, or as good a Monday as you can get. As I say, going to be a bit of a baptism of fire for some of the drivers that have moved over from... check your game category, mate. Ah, okay. Yep, game category. Right, now, there is a way to change that in here, isn't there? I will get that changed over in a moment, but it does look like the racers are about to start. They are on the grid, so we'll sort that momentarily. And they are a green light, and they are off. And it's a good start by all four Cupras up at the front. And in fact, that is Kowaleski in the background. Looks like he's trying to make a move early doors on Sam Shell. And into turn number one, they'll all make it through very quick and clean there. Indeed, there is a slowdown penalty pending for one of the drivers, not popped up at the moment, but it is Luciano Whitford who is doing all the running with Catalan in second position. Budioff holding on to third place with Lee Horn in fourth. In fact, we've got slowdowns, yellow flags for Gallagher and Bagas. So Bagas down at the back of the field. Gallagher was at the rear of the field, and now found Bagas down at the back. Some changes in the middle of the field as well. Andy Withers and Kowaleski change of position. There's Camano making moves past Withers as well. So I think there might have been a slight bit of contact there. There's certainly someone not getting the exit they had planned. There is Luciano Whitford leading the way though. Already got a 1.5 second gap over Matteo Catalan, with Lloyd Budioff in third place, Lee Horn in fourth, Fabio Gill in fifth position, Sam Shelton in sixth, Fraser Rostans in seventh, Matteo Gili in eighth place. It's Kowaleski in ninth, and Cody Cosford up two positions into 10th place. Camano and Withers switching positions once again. Lee Horn and Lloyd Budioff. We've also got a lot of track penalties. Camano slow down. So we've got a lot of slowdown penalties coming in for the drivers, and we can see Lloyd Budioff showing the rest of the field a clean pair of heels in those three chasing Cupras, now well within striking distance of Horn and Gill. Sam Shelton just a little way back now. But you can definitely see the action as you come through the chicane, and it is Whitford already clearly gapping the rest of the battling field here. And we can see Sam Shelton, it's a bit of a tongue twister, tucked right into the slipstream, looking for a room out the outside, says hello, I'm here. So it's going to be 2x2 as they go into a very tight left-handed hairpin. Will the four of them make it round? It looks like Sam Shelton could lose out here, and we've got another driver out on the track. I believe that was Budioff then, out on the green stuff. He may pick up a slowdown for that. Didn't come up in the notifications, but these four, as you can see, right on top of one another. All that's doing is giving Luciano Whitford the gap of gaps, and already 4.2 seconds in the lead. As we can see them go 2x2 once again. This time it's into turn number one. Lloyd Budioff still looking to get away past Matteo Catalan, second and third in the championship. Now sitting second and third in the race as they come up through the uphill right-hander into the tight left, heavy on the brakes, throw the car round. Once again, trying to avoid that sausage on the inside. You can see just how unsettled Catalan's car gets there. Budioff with a much better exit. Gives him a little G up there along the back end. Let's have a look over his back shoulder, because you can see that it is all action right behind him as well. Catalan and Gili both been given slowdown penalties then for track limit violations, and that is not what Catalan needs when he's got Budioff so close to his rear spoiler. And he's gone right up the inside. He's taken that penalty and he's lost two positions, and Lovas gets himself a slowdown penalty as well, but it is Lee Horn that is the big beneficiary there. Oh, and Catalan right off track as well. Gill, Shelton and Rostans in the background, all battling for positions. Rostans now at the back of that pack of three cars, right across his nose he goes, and it is Lloyd Budioff that hangs on to second position. Matteo Catalan just about hanging on to third, with Lee Horn there right in the background. Again, goes defensive, does Catalan, looking to show Horn the outside line, taking both apexes down through that hairpin, and that is Gili, who served himself a drive-through penalty, but he's still right on the back of this battle as well. As we can see, he's got a great view of everything as once again goes side by side. There is Luciano Whitford off into the distance, side by side through the chicane. Can it be done? Yes, it can. Budioff and Horn swapping positions now. Catalan and Horn swap positions. Catalan now down into fourth place as Gilles has got himself a beautiful view of this. They're now going to go three wide into the hairpin. I would like to say this. This doesn't end well for somebody, and there we go. We've had someone run well wide there. That is Horn. Oh, and he's up on two wheels. He's landed it again, and he's gone up the inside. The Gilly Horn is going to take himself a penalty as well. Cody Cosford gets a penalty, but that was... excuse me, that was Matteo Catalan getting on two wheels there. He got righted by Gilly, who we are on board with. You heard the contact. Put him back down, and this is absolutely just playing in the hands of Luciano Whitford. He now finds himself 7 seconds ahead of Lloyd Badulf in second place. It's Sam Shelton then who is in third with Fabio Gil now up to fourth position. Fraser Rostance in fifth is Matteo Catalan who's in sixth. Gilly in seventh. Kowaleski in eighth. Cody Cosford up to ninth with Lovas now down to 10th. Withers in 11th. Kamano in 12th place is Ben Sullivan in 13th position. Simon Baggis making his way back through the field was 17th, now up to 14th position. Paul Stinger in 15th with Craig Gallagher in 16th position, and Lee Horn back into the pits, unfortunately. Let's see what's happening back up to the front as Fabio Gill looks to hang on to the position that he's been gifted. The Hyundai's really on a charge. It's almost as if the three of them are working together. Luciano Whitford handed a slowdown penalty. He's really just trying to get the fastest lap as well, you would think at this point. But yeah, the Hyundais really are bringing the fight to the Cupras. We saw Cupra dominance in qualifying. We can now see the three Cupras in a train positioned third, fourth and fifth place with Whitford and Badulf up ahead of them. And it is Fabio Gill. In fact, let me just confirm. Sorry, Matteo Catalan, who was fighting for podium honours at one point, now finds himself in sixth position, and with the three Hyundais trying to catch their way back up. We can see Cody Cosford in the background. He's definitely catching up as well. He's going to be putting Kowalewski in the Lynx & Co. under pressure pretty soon based on the lap times that I'm seeing here. Whitford very calmly. Kowalewski gets himself another slowdown penalty. The drivers really want to avoid these in the closing stages. Well, I say the closing stages. Still 13 minutes to go. Plenty of action still on the cars. You can see Fabio Gill now caught up to the back of Sam Shelton, in fact. So we're starting to see the Hyundais doing battle then into turn number one. It really is all over the back of them, and the rest of the cars crossing the line very quickly indeed. The three Hyundais now find themselves gapping Matteo Catalan. That last slowdown penalty has given them a little bit of breathing space at the moment. As you can see, the cameraman not keen to keep up with the action. Hopefully he will soon, as we see them go uphill through the left-hander. Then it's the double apex left. Turns 6, 7 and 8. And the Hyundai's formation driving still at the moment then. Ben Sullivan, he is looking close at the moment. Massive 96. Oh, and he goes right up the inside of Kamano then. And has he got that one done? The two of them may be side by side again. The cameraman, not keen on this one, but there is a bit of a battle going on. And it looks like Baggis might be joining in that one as well. I think he is. He's got a good view of what is going on. And he is certainly closing in. That is Kamano then, that we're on board with there. So he is sandwiched right in the middle. He's got Sullivan just ahead. He's just got past him. And Baggis looking to close in as well. Baggis, of course, starting in 17th position. He's just been given another slow-down penalty. These really are going to be massively detrimental given how close these packs of cars are. Several positions could easily be lost or gained if you push your luck too much, or one of your competitors does as well. Cody Cosford, as I mentioned, he's closing. He started in 12th position. He's back down to 11th, in fact. So a slowdown penalty there. Just highlighting that fact. Another slowdown penalty for Simon Baggis. So he really is not getting to grips with the track limits as he would wish. There's Ben Sullivan picking one up as well. The steward's very, very, very busy in this one. Almost as busy as I was in the opening as exchanges here. Almost as busy as the rear view mirror of Sam Shelton's car is. And there we can see we're actually on board with Sam Shelton. Sorry, Fabio Gill is who I meant, because he has the entire pack chasing him at the moment. He's got third place, Lloyd Badulf, now 5.8 seconds up the road. Now that he has been released, the gap between Ben Sullivan with another slowdown penalty, but the gap between Whitvet and Badulf hasn't really changed. And now that Whitvet, as the race started, Whitvet got himself a good 7-second gap. But since Badulf has been released, the gap now sitting at 7.6 seconds. So the two of them lapping fairly equilibriously at the moment, as their qualifying pace would suggest. Although, just as I'm saying that, it jumps up to 8 seconds. Well, this is still very close here. And also Mateo Catalan. Oh, that's a lot of spectators standing on the bank. And there's Mateo Catalan looking to go for a cutback on the exit of the chicane. Perhaps doesn't quite make that one stick. Fraser Rostans then hanging on to that 5th position, getting as tight as he can on the inside. There's Mateo looking for as quick an exit as possible. Still very close here, and that's another overtake in the background. Camano and Bagas trading positions then. Whitvet with another slowdown penalty again. He's more than likely just pushing for the fastest lap time. 7.5 seconds is now the gap, and that's Camano being overtaken then by... Oh, and Sam Shelton's been given a slowdown penalty. That's definitely not what he needs. You see, Catalan has got the move done then on Fraser Rostan, so they're still trading positions then. Fabio Gill now given a some clean real estate behind his car. I really am tripping over my words tonight. But Sam Shelton, after receiving that slowdown penalty, he's now got Catalan over his rear spoiler. Rostan's overtaken, and Fabio Gill with some nice real estate front and back then, much like the two drivers ahead. Luciano Whitvet, despite the gap being fairly steadied by Lloyd Badulf, it's now up again to 8.1 seconds. JC Camano picking up another slowdown penalty then. He's got Paul Stinger and Gallagher. They're a fair way down the road. Leon has been disqualified then. So he will finish in the pits for this one. So he will start on the front row of the grid. It's a reverse ordered grid for the second race. So yeah, should be an interesting run. Good evening as well. Sorry, Saber Sim Racer. I've still not changed the category. How we doing, Mr. Juzma? Good to see you. And I hope you're enjoying the racing. It has been action-packed for the first half. As we Catalan looking to get the Cupras back up on the podiums. He's got himself ahead of Sam Shelton then. Or has he? Shelton has a look up the inside. Doesn't make it. Holds on to that apex down the hill. They're going as Catalan then back up into 4th position. Can he catch up to Fabio Gill? He's got 2.5 seconds to make up there if he can. Fraser Rostans with everything that's going on. Oh, Luciano Whitvet with another slowdown penalty, but he still extended the gap. It's now up to 8.7 seconds. Simon Baggett being overtaken in the background by Ben Sullivan. Both of them receiving slowdowns recently. Ben Sullivan catching up. Kowalewski in 7th place. He's been given a slowdown penalty as well. Rostan, Shelton and Catalan all within a second of one another. Baggett showing a clean pair of heels to Sullivan. Whitvet with another slowdown penalty. He's going to have to watch those track limits. I'm sure it's still at 30 points. Where else was we going to be looking? There we go. Still, Fraser Rostans. Kowalewski with another slowdown penalty. 6 minutes to go. Sam Shelton picking up another penalty. More penalties than England see in their average World Cup finals. And the drivers, Cody Cosford picking one up as well. Fabio Gill now got Catalan within 1.4 seconds as Rostans and Shelton looking to fight it out over honours for second place in the battle of the Hyundais. It's Gill, though, who is leading the way for the Hyundais, with Catalan trying to close in. As we can see him across the start-finish line and into turn number 1. The gap closing. Let's just see. So there is the difference between Gill and Catalan at the moment. Camano picking up another penalty. He really doesn't want to keep doing that. Shelton and Rostans, they have traded positions, in fact, and they look like they're going to trade positions again. They have indeed. Has he got the cutback? Has the cameraman got any love of motorsport whatsoever? As we missed the cutback there, but Fraser Rostans back up the inside around the mountain. And he's got his car nicely in front, as we can see Kowalewski in the background trying to close in and make hay while the sun shines with his battle ahead. Luciano Whitworth with another slow down penalty. That is quite a few that he has racked up in this race. Seems that even the aliens can struggle with the track limits. Shelton is still very close to Rostans. Kowalewski closing in the background. Cosford picking up a penalty as well. He's still in 11th position. Started in 12th. There is Bagas trying to close in, putting in fairly similar laps over the next 4 minutes. They should retain positions unless one of them gets too many slowdowns. And just as we say that, Cody does indeed pick himself up a slowdown as he comes under the bridge. You can see Simon there in the background trying to close it in. Catalan is now within a second of Fabio Gil. 4 minutes left to go. The final podium spot now comes in to contention. Has a look from way downtown there into the hairpin. That was obviously more than speculative. Just to see if he could pull a defensive manoeuvre from the driver ahead. Unlikely at that range. Cosford picking up a penalty. Ben Sullivan picking up another penalty. So yeah, the ACC driver, or certainly Cosford. Majority race room, I believe. That was certainly Ben Sullivan of the Sausage Dodgers. Bagas and Cosford have traded positions then after those slowdowns. So Bagas making his way through the field despite the lack of practice. Oh, and Gili is out. Gili is out. Oh, and Fabio Gil. Sorry, there's two of them. There we go. That explains that then. But Matteo is back in the pit in the Lincoln Co. So that has promoted everyone, obviously, that was behind him. Ben Sullivan with another penalty then. He really could bring Camano and Stinger back into it, as we see Stinger catching up. Camano picking up all those penalties. And he again, he is looking, as we can see. Don't know how he's looking as we come round the mountain. Oh, Camano picking up another penalty. Is this a chance for Stinger to strike? He's in the full DHL. I will avoid full send jokes. Camano getting himself off the driving line to make sure he doesn't impede any of the other drivers. And Paul Stinger says, thank you very much. He pops himself up into 12th position then. So good move there. Just shows you just how detrimental these penalties can be. As we see Catalan looking to retake that podium position. Fabio Gil still fending him off at the moment. 2.5 minutes left to go. It's now 9.9 seconds. Whitfield has over Badulf and 9 seconds back from Badulf to at the moment Gil. Will it be Gil finishing in third place? The Hyundai has done well to overturn the Cupra dominance. The two Hyundais, in fact, in the background, still battling. Kowalewski, despite the penalties, is still hanging on to the back then. And he potentially could be looking for an overtake in the closing few laps. Sam Shelton just ahead of him, but still Catalan and Gil are battling their way for the final podium spot. 1 minute 48 left on the clock. Not long left for Luciano Whitfield. Yet another win. 9 starts, 9 wins. And we've got a reverse order grid to go, which means he will, of course, be starting at the very back. So I think we'll be watching straight from there as soon as the race starts. Camano trying to retake that position from Paul Stinger, and Kowalewski getting himself a drive-through. He's not going to lose a position, I don't think, but it certainly means that getting the position on Sam Shelton looking increasingly unlikely. Camano with another penalty then. So again, that's not going to help him trying to retake the position from Stinger. Ben Sullivan up 3 in the race so far. As we can see, Simon Bagas up 7. We're still on board with Shelton and Rostans at the moment. Oh, in fact, Catalan is going for the move. which we would know if the camera was working properly. Still looking for that overtake. Can he get himself back onto the position? Badulf did exactly what he needs to do. Second in the championship and second in this race will do his cause the world of good. That's not the camera we want. That is indeed the camera that we want. Luciano Whitford comfortably leading the way now with Lloyd Badulf in second. Fabio Gil gets a slow down penalty. He's got a slow down penalty in the closing 24 seconds of the race. Absolutely not what you need, although into the two chicanes. Into the chicane, should be able to lose it quite comfortably. Has he shaken it off? No, he's still got it. Luciano Whitford picks up another penalty as well as they come racing over the rumble strips. There is Shelton and Rostans still battling away. Gill still holding on to second position as we see. Luciano Whitford getting very close to finishing the race. Lloyd Badulf will take that second position. Who's going to get third though? Is it going to be Fabio Gil? Is it going to be Matteo Catalan? Fabio Gil picked up a small drive-through penalty. The camera could catch up any second now. Would be great as we see him going up the inside. Beautiful move to go side by side on the exit, though it's still Gil that's holding on to that position. Catalan really is throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him. And in fact, we've seen, I believe, Luciano Whitford cross the line and take the checkered flag. We did miss that. It's going to be Lloyd Badulf in second, but who is going to get third? And I've missed that as well because I was looking through the field, but it was Fabio Gil that held on by a tenth of a second over Matteo Catalan in fourth. Rostans in fifth place. Sam Shelton's got himself sixth. Kowaleski in seventh. It's Lovas who's just crossed the line to take eighth. Andy Withers in ninth. Simon Baggis in 10th place. Ben Sullivan, movers and shakers right through the field right at the end as Ben Sullivan takes 11th. Cody Cosford gets back down to 12th place. Paul Stinger in 13th position. In fact, right at the end there, Camano 13th, Stinger 14th, Craig Gallagher is going to cross the line in 15th position. All change right through the field, right at the end there. But another display of absolute dominance from this man, Luciano Whitford. 9 starts, 9 race wins. Is there anything anyone can do to match this kind of dominance here? 17 drivers out on track. We're going to see a reverse order grid. We've only got 2 races left to go. So another race here, and that will comfortably tie up the championship for Mr. Whitfield. Like I say, with 2 events to go, the Hockenheim Ring and Sonoma Raceway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure all he needs to do finish on the podium in this one. And yeah, he'll find himself with that championship. But there is the final classified results. Luciano Whitford did take the top spot and the race win. Badulf second, Gil third, Catalan fourth, Rostans in fifth with Shelton in 6th position. Kowaleski in 7th, Lovas in 8th. Withers, Baggis, Sullivan 9th through 11th, Cosford, Camano and Stinger finished 12th, 13th and 14th. It was Craig Gallagher in 15th. Matteo Gili and Lee Horn didn't finish the event. Action-packed 18 minutes. And we've got a reverse order grid to go next. Excellent. Looking forward to that. Of course, Motorland Aragon. A new one, certainly for SOP, built in Spain 2009 to take over the old street circuit in Alcanis, which closed in 2000, or ceased usage in 2003. But certainly a first trip here for myself. I know Simon, where is that come up now? Okay, some of the new technical stuff. Let's have some fun with that. But yeah, Lloyd Badulf getting that second position there. A highly important for him. Barmy Gamer is in the chat. Good evening, good evening. How are you doing, bud? Good to see you in. Hopefully enjoying this evening's racing. The WTCR's always fun. Always fun. Yeah, in the reverse order grid. Yeah, doing okay, mate. Doing okay. Old age doesn't come on its own. Let's just say so. Yeah, old back feeling it a bit strangely. One of those. But yeah, doing okay generally, mate. Doing okay generally. Tell me, yeah. As soon as you get to 40, mate, that's it. Oh, and here we go. Race 2, no messing about. Straight on to the grid. And it is, as I say, a reverse order grid. So let us see what happens over the next 20 minutes. Sorry, not 18. And it is, let's jump on board with Lloyd Badulf in 15th position. We've had a couple of drivers disconnect from the server. We're starting with 15 drivers and race 1 winner. Oh yeah, Luciano Whitford is on the grid there. He's already made up a position. He's battling hard with Lloyd Badulf, but he hasn't made up 2 positions in at the expense of Gallagher. It's Lee Horn that led the way with Matteo Gili following him. Cody Cosford in 3rd. Paul Stinger in 4th place, with Camano now trying to go round the outside there. Luciano Whitford comfortably past Gallagher now. And he's passed Gilles as well, in fact. Badulf and Shelton swapping positions there. Simon Baggas getting the overtake done on Paul Stinger in the early stages. You can see very bunched up indeed, as you would expect from a reverse order grid. As Camano goes past Stinger as well. Ben Sullivan right in the middle of this pack as well as they come down through the very difficult chicane. A lot of track limit violations here. A lot of slow-down penalties in race number 1, and right on cue in race number 2. That's Cosford and Sullivan. Adding to the penalty count, Fabio Gil adding to that there. Another couple of drivers as they go 3 wide. Craig Gallagher picking up a penalty as well. It is 4 wide. Lova Shelton Whitford now up to 11th position. Then 10th position for Luciano Whitford. Not messing about at all. Lloyd Badulf, though, making all the moves. As I was busily watching Luciano Whitford, Lloyd Badulf's got himself up to 7th position then. Luciano Whitford, though, he's joining him in 8th place already. Lee Horn still leading the way with Matteo Gili in 2nd position. It's Cody Cosford currently running in 3rd. Simon Baggas in 4th. Paul Stinger in 5th. Lloyd Badulf. Ben Sullivan trading positions. Lloyd Badulf dropping back down a position. Then Ben Sullivan now finds himself between Whitford and Lloyd Badulf. As Ben Sullivan. Oh, and he's turned into him on the inside. Then Sullivan gets himself moving. Yellow flags flashing every place. Oh, and he almost loses the nose of his car as well then. That was Whitford that came right across, and you can see Lovas in his rear view mirror, but it is Whitford back up to 6th position. Lloyd Badulf, he's in 6th. It's Whitford in 7th. Stinger still hanging on to 5th with Baggas in 4th. Lee Horn still got the lead of the race by 1.7 seconds. Ben Sullivan picking up a slow down penalty in the leading pack there. Oh, and it's Lee Horn who's run wide through turn number 8. Unforced error then from Lee Horn up at the front. Sam Shelton picking up a slow down penalty as well. That's not what he needs. In 9th position with Lovas so close to him. Baggas still in 4th. Stinger just been overtaken then by Lloyd Badulf as well. So Badulf now up to 5th, and there's in fact Whitford makes his way through as well. So Paul Stinger losing 2 positions very quickly there to Badulf and Whitford. Championship 1 and 2. Race 1 here this evening. 1 and 2, and they're partnering one another right through the field, where Andy Withers and Lovas are trying to get overtakes done on Fabio Gil as well. Of course, he's finished on the podium in race number 1. He now finds himself in 10th position with Andy Withers breathing down his neck, but Badulf continues his charge. So too Simon Baggas looking for podium honours in race number 2. He's right on the back of Cody Cosford. You can see very close, these 4 cars indeed, into another down the hill chicane here, almost going 2 by 2. That's an overtake almost in the background there. Luciano Whitford, has he potentially boxed himself out as he's looking for an overtake? He's not. He's got the overtake done, and so too is Lloyd Badulf. Baggas losing 2 positions there, but it is to the fastest 2 drivers on the track. He now finds himself in 6th position with an absolute grandstand view of the battle between Whitford and Badulf as they chase up the hill and chase after Cody Cosford. Cody Costner pulling right out onto the right-hand side there, potentially signaling, are they going to go 3 wide into a hairpin? Yeah, why not? It's only a hairpin. Pops up the inside. Cody Costner says thank you very much. He's going to retake the position on exit. His whip foot planted that absolutely beautifully. Badulf almost losing out completely there, but Cody Costner does hang on for the minute to fourth position as Luciano Whitvet makes his way through. Bagas with a beautiful view of everything that's going on, as we can see over his wing as well. He's got Stinger and Jill chasing him. Stinger looking to get an overtake done there with Lovas, not too far behind either. The rest of the field still very close. With Sullivan, Withers, Kowaleski, Rostans and Kamano bringing up the rear of the field at the moment. But Rostans certainly not out with this one. Matteo Gili picking up a slowdown penalty. Rostans, Kowaleski and Withers all right on top of one another. And in fact, I believe that's Rostans looking to make a move there. As the cameraman does catch up, they have straightened themselves out. Let's have a look back up and see. Championship leader then, Luciano Whitvet, 7 seconds. He's got to make up. Simon Bagas still well in the hunt as well. In fact, so too Fabio Gil now closing up. Can he carve his way through this pack? Lovas and Stinger. There's Stinger looking to make an overtake on Lovas as well in the background, coming down the hill. All the full send jokes because of the DHL livery, of course. Cody Costner picking up a slowdown penalty. We saw a lot of drivers losing out in race number 1 thanks to slowdown penalties, and is Cody Costner going to lose out? We will find out when the cameraman decides to catch up with the action that we've got on the track. Bagas looking to close in. Can he make that move? He's within 0.4 of a second, and he's picked up a slowdown penalty, so that battle going to be put on the back burner for the moment as Paul Stinger. Cody Costner going blow for blow, toe for toe, and he gets a penalty as well. We're back on board with Paul Stinger then. He's got Sam Shelton just ahead of him. Heavy on the brakes, closes right in on the braking zone. Really, that would be much better on the brakes than the Hyundai, it would appear. Gets a good acceleration. The Hyundai in a straight line, though, leaves him in the early acceleration phases. Stinger trying to close in on Love, and Shelton who's trying to close in on Lovas. And in fact, if we jump on board with Lovas, you can see Jill and Bagas and Costner going side by side for 5th position then. Bagas dropping down the order. What's happened there? Bagas falls down the order. No idea what's going on. The cameraman could do with catching up potentially. Yeah, high-speed motorsport. Who needs a cameraman? They can keep up. But Bagas dropping way down the order then. So potential contact and an off-track excursion for Bagas, who was battling with Cosford for that 5th position. Just saw a penalty pop up on the screen. I didn't miss it myself. I see Cosford under pressure now from Fabio Gil. He's made his way back up through the field. Oh, and he's right on the back then. And in fact, he's going to go side by side, trying to go round the outside of the long left right-hander. Lloyd Badulf picks up a slowdown penalty. He's in 4th position behind the championship leader Whitvet. As we can see, Fabio Gil doing everything he can to get his way past Cody Cosford. A big look up the inside. He takes the apex. Cosford does strategically leave room, but he does take the middle line right through the chicane and holds on to the position as Lovas closing in as well. Cosford potentially strategically, well, not potentially strategically, just needs to hold his line. Fabio Gil picking up the drive through penalty. Lovas is going to get involved in this battle. Has he got the legs to get it done up the inside? That is a big send again. Cosford does leave room, sees it coming, and it is Fabio Gil finding himself up into 5th position at the expense of Cody Cosford. Cody now under pressure, although that's Fabio. Oh, he's back behind Cody. Cody's retaking the position then through those corners. Oh, and he's lost it. I completely missed that there, but it looks like Cody lost it on the way through the chicane, and that's cost him a couple of positions as Lovas and Shelton both make their way through. Cosford then now down in the 8th position, right into this battle with Ben Sullivan and Paul Stinger. Andy Withers involved in this one as well. As we can see, he's getting a good look. That is Paul Stinger just ahead of him then. Oh, and up the inside, that is Ben Sullivan taking that position then. So it's all changed right through the field, and it's been all changed up the front as we see an equilibrious gap of 2.6 seconds separating first and second and third. Luciano Whitford now down to within 3 seconds of second position. Lloyd Badulf, he's lost 0.7 of a second since last we checked in on this battle. We'll leave that battle alone. Sam Shelton looks like he's going side by side into turn number 1. Camano picking up a penalty at the rear of the field. Bagas in 14th. Rostans and Kowaleski right on top of Andy Withers as well as they come through turn number 1. We can see Rostans in the rear of a train of 4 cars then. Trying everything he can to make his way past Kowaleski, Withers and Ben Sullivan. Paul Stinger also involved in this train as well as Cody Cosford's just ahead of them. Sam Shelton right on the rear spoiler once again of Lovas. Bagas picking up, I apologise, good thing I've got a shield on the microphone. Who on board with Sam Shelton trying to get his way past Lovas, throws the car back round to the left through another one of the tricky downhill chicanes. Ben Sullivan, as we can see, he is trying to get a move done on Stinger still, and in fact Stinger right on the back of Cosford as well. Up the inside is Ben Sullivan looking for a move into the left-hander, turn number 11. And he gets it done round the outside again. Almost takes the nose off, but gets the job done. Stinger then finds himself in 10th position. Sullivan up into 9th. Cody Cosford just ahead of him. As you see, a lot of dust being kicked up ahead. Is that an off-track excursion for one of the drivers? No one tumbling down the order. Cosford still running. Camano with another penalty then. Whitford now down to 1.2 seconds with 8 minutes left to go. Stinger on the back of Sullivan. Sullivan with another penalty then. Bagas with a penalty as well. He's down in 14th after the fall from Grace during that battle for 5th position. We're on board Andy Withers. You can see just how close it is down at the back of the field. You see one of the Hyundais, in fact, running slightly wide there. I'm not sure which one that was. I believe it was Ben Sullivan. Yes, it was, because there is the slow down penalty. But he's still looking for an overtake on Andy Withers at this point. So too Sam Shelton. Still trying to get his way past Lovas. Lovas defending stoutly at the minute. And in fact, Withers, Rostans, Sullivan dropping down the order. He's taking his drive-through penalty. Rostans and Withers both making their way through. And Kowaleski looking to add to the penalty woes then as he closes to within a 10th. Still half the race to go. Fabio Gil picking himself up a penalty with 7 seconds. And that's a big send-in. And Kowaleski getting that done up the inside. But he got himself a slow-down penalty for track limit violations. I'm beginning to wonder these guys and gals don't have their auto HUD on correctly and not catching these penalties. Luciano Whitvet, main penalty protagonist in race number 1, I would say. He definitely picked up a record number of penalties from what I saw there. Kowaleski picking up yet another, but Whitvet looking to improve on his podium position. He started in 17th, 15th, sorry, his 2 drivers didn't make it into race number 2. So up 12 positions. Shelton and Lovas trading positions under penalty. Whitvet getting another penalty. Gili picking up a Camano, picking up another penalty. All the drivers are getting lots of penalties between now and the end of the race. That sorts that one out. Badulf is up into 4th position. He too looking for an improvement on his podium position as Whitvet already up to 2nd. Badulf closing in. Gili just running himself off track there, and that's going to be a big penalty. And Lloyd Badulf is up into 3rd place, 2.5 seconds down on the championship leader Luciano Whitvet, who's now 4.7 seconds down on Lee Horn, who has in fact led the race from the start and has barely had those. We've seen another overtake then. That was Gili and Badulf still going side by side then. So Gili not giving up on this one, although the gap now half a second. Gili didn't give enough credit there. My apologies. Lovas Shelton swapping positions. Shelton potentially under penalty there as himself and Cody Cosford trading positions. As we can see, Gili up 10 places. Whitvet up 15. Badulf up those 13 places. Just seeing if we can get that up, but nope. But yes, it is Sam Shelton that we're on board with Cosford and Lovas just ahead. Gilly certainly not giving up on. Oh, and there's a look up the inside. He was hoping that Cosford would box himself out there. Lovas certainly taking the defensive line. Shelton knows that if Cosford, and I'm sure Cosford knows as well, if he goes for the overtake, he's going to end up getting himself boxed out. He's having to look around the outside as they come into another downhill chicane. Oh, and he's gone wide of that apex then, potentially open to the cutback if Shelton can get a good line. And Shelton bringing a long line with him, being led by Stinger. We can see over his rear spoiler, that's Withers, Rostans and Kowaleski, who are looking to take his top 10 positions. Oh, Rostans picking up a penalty just as we'll have a look there. Whitford now finds himself 3.8 seconds down on Lee Horn. So that penalty, I'm thinking, was a pretty big one then. Cody Cosford within 6/10. Still all action all the time right through this race. 4 minutes left to go. Still drivers looking to make improvements and bring home as many points as possible. The 10th race, round number 5, so it's the 10th race of the season. Whitford now with 4 minutes left to go and 4 seconds to make up. Can he make it 10 from 10? He knows he only needs a podium, and that's got the entire championship in the bag. Of Shelton and Cosford trading positions side by side. The cameraman at this track is really not the best. Oh, right round the outside. That sounded like a ding-a-ling in chat. It was indeed. Rosers69, thank you very much for the follow. Down the hill, we're seeing Cody Cosford chasing still Rostans and Kowaleski trading positions in the background. There's Andy Withers involved in that battle as well. He's picking up penalties as well. So we had someone, we have lost a driver, I believe. And that is Simon Baggins. Yeah, so someone, I believe I've had a DQ. Oh, no, we want that one. As they go around the mountains past the pit box, so we can't really see what is going on. 3.5 seconds, so Whitford has closed in half a second since last we mentioned that. Let's see, and we seem to have lost a bit of game sound as well. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, no, that is just very distant. Withers. Yep, game sound. There we go. But yeah, Sam Shelton. Yeah, I've just realised the game sound was indeed off for the opening video. Monday. The Monday joys. We're still watching some battle going on in the background. Paul Stinger coming to the attack from Cody Cosford and Andy Withers. Cosford sending one right up the inside. It's going to be a double. Oh, what? Cosford's run wide. Oh, and that's a bit untidy potentially, but right round the outside, that was some... and Cody Cosford has been DQ'd. That is for penalty contacts then. So Stinger and Withers free to resume their battle. Badulf now finds himself a healthy 4.2 seconds down the road. The Luciano Whitford still 3.6 seconds, so 1 minute 40, 1.4 minutes. 1 minute 40 left to go. That is a really big ask. Lee Horn. We will see him on camera eventually. There we go. Simon Baggis picking up a slowdown penalty. 1 minute 20 left to go. 3.2 seconds is the gap. It has been, as I said at the start, a one-man show from start of the series for Luciano Whitford. Something's gone wrong. Race number 2 from here, or something's gone very, very right for Lee Horn indeed. He's going to bring home an excellent race win here in race number 2. 57 seconds left to go. Lovas still looking like he might be trying to improve his position. He's got Shelton just in front of him. Very close indeed. 43 seconds left. Can he improve? He's looking for 6th place if he can. Still penalties being handed out. Kamano just picking up a penalty there from 12th place. He has got a big gap back though. Simon Bagas trying to close in on Stinger in the closing stage. Stinger himself closing in on Andy Withers. So much better with sound. There is Lovas. Oh, Gilles and Gilly changing positions there. Didn't see any penalty notifications. But certainly in the Lincoln Co, Gilly looking like he's having a big old wiggle there through that chicane. That is the race timer done. 2.6 seconds separate the top two. Lovas and Shelton trading positions once again. We did miss the winner cross the line in race number 1. Let's make sure we don't do that in race number 2. Is Lovas tumbling down the order then? So he's had a big off-track excursion, and Bagas has been promoted as well. So Bagas, and that is, just as I say that, Lee Horn crosses the line, and we do indeed miss it, but congratulations, Lee Whippy Whip. Is that, no, it's Lee Taylor, sorry, Lee Horn. Congratulations, Lee Horn, on a race win. Luciano Whitfit takes 2nd place. First time this season he's not been on the top spot. Lloyd Bedulf does his hopes of hanging on to 2nd in the championship. The World of Good with a 3rd place then. Fabio Gil got himself a 4th. Gilly in 5th. Shelton in 6th place. Rostan's up to 7th. With Andy Withers in 8th place. Paul Stinger with the top 10, finishing in 9th position. Simon Bagas gets himself a 10th, with Lovas finishing in 11th place. JC Kamano finished in 12th position, and bringing up the rear of the fielded drivers who did cross the line in the Lincoln Co. It is Mr. Craig Gallagher. Kovalevsky unable to finish, and Cosford DQ'd through the penalty point system. But there we go, 2 absolutely action-packed races. We've got Hockenheimring next week. In fact, no, 2 weeks from now. We're back with this series in 2 weeks' time, March the 13th. But Lee Horn, there he is, takes the win in race number 2. We will get the classified results up on the screen momentarily. As the camera swings round, showing off the beautiful Spanish track. We'll see who get the fastest lap as well. I think I'm just waiting on Craig to cross the line. There we go. Phenomenal stuff. So it was Lee Horn. Luciano Whitfit did indeed take the fastest lap with a 2:14.1. Horn did take a faster lap than Bedulf, so a well-deserved podium. And in fact, one of only 3 drivers, the only 3 drivers on the podium, the only 3 to be lapping in the 2:14. So phenomenal display from all 3. Jill in 4th, Gilly in 5th, Shelton, Rostan 6th and 7th, Withers in 8th, Stinger and Bagas 9th and 10th. Lovas Kamano 11th and 12th, Gallagher and Catalan 13th and 14th. Oh no, so it was Catalan that disconnected. So too Kovalevsky, Cosford and Sullivan didn't finish the race. Yeah, so there we go. Another action-packed week of WTCR racing. Definitely can't argue with the bang for buck on the overtaking in the WTCRs. I can't get a bit elbows out of time, but that is certainly the nature of the beast with these machines. Another fun one indeed. SOP will be back tomorrow night. It'll be the F4, so if you want to get signed up on simracing.gp, that is the place to do it. WTCRs on a Monday, F4s on a Tuesday night. I should be racing in that one myself, hopefully. We'll see how the back is. Wednesday night, we're back with the SimStaff sponsored GT Championship, of course, on Wednesday, and then Sunday we're back with the Enduro, the British GT Multi-Class Championships. If you don't want to get signed up and involved in any of those, go to the About page, jump in Discord, and yeah, you can have a look on SimGrid for ACC and Sim Racing GP for Race Room. So until Wednesday evening, when we bring you coverage of round number 6 for the ACC Championship, I bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks very much. Good night.